What's up, internet? It's your boy Jaw. Thank you for tuning into this video, and let's talk the big talk with the biggest show right now, Stranger Things. And before we do that, peep my shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's life lessons right there. I just want to talk about this guy right here, Vecna. He is a very interesting villain, and underneath all of this monstrosity, he is a human. And I want to, psychoanalyze that guy and really, pretty much, I want to give my flowers to the Duffer Brothers. Even though almost everyone on the internet is probably dunking on the brothers, and everyone has plenty of negative things to say, I actually want to give them applaud for actually writing a good cult. That's the focus of this video, and really the honed in aspect of Vecna and the plot, because even though it's not really the side thing, it's actually the whole plot device why the gang is going to rescue Holly and rescue the kids. It's still, people care more about Elle and did she survive or not. I'll give my opinion on that later. Um, but actually, I think the cult, which I'm calling Vecna's Corrupted Cult of Children, I also want to bring awareness. I also want to be able to give you guys the knowledge so you can have discernment to know what is a cult and how you might fall victim to one, and even some real life examples. One, religious justification. If you remember in the show, shout out Teen Wolf, Vecna's whole plan, Henry, he wants to conjoin the worlds and he needs the fuel, the power of children. It's a very common trope in media, like Akira. Akira, the whole thing is the psychic abilities, science experimentation, which the Japanese definitely look up Unit 701, 731, excuse me. I made a presentation on that in high school. These kids get experimented on and it always ends up poorly. So how Vecna justifies his plan to the kids is he talks about good and evil. He reverses it. He calls what's good evil and what's evil good. He's bringing an apocalyptic desert world to Earth, to the gang's home. A big red flag of a cult is if they separate the victims from outside social networks and relationships. Once they've isolated them, they can put their claws into you and be your prey to them, to their control and manipulation. And there's also, you can quite literally see this with Vecna. You see it in his back, which I've seen on the internet, which is a great case, is the pedophilic imagery, because the tube going in the children's mouth is very, it's a phallic. This is the type of imagery. It's kind of like how the xenomorphs, they represent like pretty much like rape, because it's coming out and it's inseminating its offspring directly into the humans or whatever it may be, whatever species they want, and making them bear baby they don't want to bear. That's the same imagery. And of course, I just got to bring it up, okay? I'm not condoning or condemning the statement. I'm just saying it how it is. What the inter I'm the man of the people, okay? And the internet says it. They say this is might be an explanation for, Will's fruity tendencies and why he's more confused and he doesn't know how to express his feelings with Will, and yo, he that girl he dubbed, like, come on, Will. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Personally, I'm going. But let's get back to the cult. The manipulation of outsiders comes from Max, the goat. Shout out Max. Vecna, or Henry, warped the children's perception of Max, making her into the black thing, into an enemy. And that way, she wasn't able to protect them and get them away from Vecna's control. What Vecna did to Max planted seeds, so later on the kids even started to distrust Holly. Max, she doesn't have the closest, understanding and best understanding to Vecna. I'd say maybe Elle or Callie has that, but she does have a grasp of the guy, you know what I'm saying? And what she says to the gang, quote, serious God complex, still human. Just how people on Earth, they isolate victims and ensure they can have their way with them. Vecna does the same thing using a tool. He uses the book, a massive red flag you can see and should raise awareness for you when people like that use is tools. They use information. They control your worldview. They warp your worldview, and they control what you can actually absorb, what information you can absorb. For example, Jehovah Witnesses, people within that cult, the only information they can ever get is from the Watchtower. And the Watchtower, just off of principle, if your information puts you in a box, if you can't question the authority, if you can't question the sources you are relying to make judgment calls on, you're compromised. Your mind, you can't trust your own mind because it's not. Your own thoughts are being shaped by someone else. This is exactly what Henry does with his cult. He uses the book to translate and dumb down his evil plan in a way that kids understand and they can actually get behind. Because if he explained it flat out, destroying Earth as they know it and creating it into a wasteland, they would never get behind it. They'd never give their all and their energy to fuel that his destiny, because that's what they are to Henry. They're a source of power. And another thing that some people might have not noticed, a way Henry can really he gains the trust of the children is that he doesn't villainize any of the kids besides Max. He doesn't villainize Holly. She doesn't call him stupid or evil. That she's tricked. She's been tricked by Max, and they need to help her. And in that way, you get what I'm saying. But for the viewer, we know the two-faced nature of Vecna. Literally, not so long ago he looked completely different. Is what he did to Derek, which I want to call Delightful Derek's coercion, because Vecna intimidated Derek so he could suppress the truth Derek had, and he wouldn't, blow the whistle on the cult and have everyone snap out of Henry's delusion, and they would rush out, and instead of, backdooring her best friend, she would have helped them escape. Which, they come around, they clutch up, even though, I want to blow the whistle and say, Derek's not going to his fat ass through that crack. But I digress. The act of threatening his parents is such a real thing, and is so much, it's literally, it's intimidation of the court, of the jury. It's when the mafia would kill someone, like stuff like that. It's complete cult behavior. It's a real telltale when you see something like that. If you have any research, you would see that the main leaders would kill any opposition, and that's the nature of power, because that's what cult is. It's a power dynamic. That's why no matter what, they're always victims. Stay with me, guys. The world of reality is far stranger than fiction. Elite connection to Stranger Things and the plot. Obviously, L with the MK Ultra. And I just have to say it. I was talking with my sister. One thing I do have to give a little critique to the brothers. This doesn't make sense to me. She's levitating in space. And we can only assume that is Vecna. Case 2. W. Holly for coming back for the boy. There we go. Why this man just pulled Holly from atmospheric levels of distance with his mind. And right before he gets in the cave, instead of grabbing her telepathically, and also, what I was talking with my sister is before this point, I'm pretty sure we don't actually know why he doesn't go into the cave. We later learn it's a repressed memory, and he gets like PTSD when he goes inside, and it gives him like anxiety, whatever. But before that, it's like I thought it was like a barrier or something. Like why and why would he extend his body to that barrier? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? I just think it doesn't make sense. My sister said that delightful Derek just needed more screen time, which, yes, that does make sense. But let's be for real. This obese child is not, outpulling this creature. But whatever. I digress. W Clutch by Derek. He's injured too, right? But let me know if I'm tripping or too much cinema sins has gotten to me. If you know anything about occultism and secret societies and what they get going, what they do in behind closed doors, is that children are seen as a power source and they are sometimes the key ingredient in these rituals, these satanic bastardizations, perversions of things that are holy. And what I want to bring up is a cult that Jeffrey Epstein, for some reason, kind of does have ties to. It is the Finders cult. The Finders Washington, D.C. How close to Alphabet City, to the real power of this country. Shout out Martyr Made podcast. His like 5 almost 6 hour series I binged, throughout a span of days. I was listening it to working out, driving and stuff. But this was what grabbed my attention. 2 young men from the group were arrested in Tallahassee, Florida. The van were driving contained 6 children with dirty faces, poor living conditions, and they were just in a park. I remember this doesn't show all the details, but it's just completely suspicious and just out of the ordinary. And why I bring this up is what this cult was found with. underfed. I don't care if the charges were dropped. I don't care. I don't care if it was. Sure, whatever. I'll preface. It's all a conspiracy theory. It's all fake. I'm fucking retarded. Whatever. No. They were crossing multiple borders where they're housed and all this, and it was international. And I haven't even gotten to the Jeffrey Epstein connection. And pretty much once he was bagged and he went into jail the first time, no, the second time, the finders were never seen again. They went MIA because, they don't have their middleman no more. They don't have their beneficiary, the Jeffrey Epstein, the notorious financier. But I want to come to the rich. I want to show the ritual part of it. Along with personal documents which featured esoteric communication. What I say? Occult. What I say? And we found it. It's not a conspiracy. It's real. It's photographed. I would internet worldwide job community, whatever I end up calling you. I would never lie to you. Between early version of email, a search warrant on the finder's house in DC found pictures of children with slaughtered goats. Come on. Doctor's examination of the children did not rule out sexual abuse in two of them, but didn't confirm it either. Physical examination showed sexual abuse to one of the children. It all connects. It all connects. And there's no reason. The Duffer Brothers are extremely aware of what they're saying. The MK Ultra aspect, the Civil War aspect. I really do like Stranger Things, and sure, people are disappointed of the ending, but it doesn't matter. This show was pop culture for maybe less than a decade, whatever, and I appreciate the show. If it gets me talking, it was worthwhile. And before I leave you guys, I want to give some more knowledge, some more clarity. The truth will set you free. Once you see the wolf within the sheep's clothing, you can never go back. If you remember the girl, even after Holly was getting attacked, Max was getting attacked, she was still hesitant and said, was it Henry? Was it like she truly wanted to trust him? And Stockholm syndrome doesn't really apply. It's a different thing, but it's hard to get out of a cult. It's you have to be very patient and understanding with that person, and you have to give them grace in a safe environment. That's what truly matters. I hope everyone learned something today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.